All right.
Did you go live on Daily
Welcome.
Bread?
Shit, I did. I can fix that. Welcome in, everybody. We are live currently on Pay for Play 1 second, but it is our Saturday show. You already know what it is. I don't want to say one of the last ones of the year, but only 8 games left. The smallest Saturday slate we've had in forever, but we're going to be running through each game. If this is your first Saturday morning with us, welcome in. You already know the full cast and crew with Goose, Sam, Spindock, and Sosa will be here shortly. But we're going to run through all the games, and then we'll give you our full cards at the end with our best bets. It is probably the best quality of games today and tomorrow, so make sure you get yourself situated. Not too many going head to head anymore, but Saturday winners, bright and early. Grab your coffee. If you're out on the West Coast, on the East Coast, you're a little bit more awake unless you're hungover like our one man who's still yet to join. But Spin Doc, I see you got the St. Pete ready behind you. Jersey City represent. How you doing today?
Doing great. There is a MAC team playing in the round of 32, so I am in good spirits today. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to watching them tonight. I've said all through pretty much since the MAC tournament, do not sleep on this team. You will hear a little bit more about that in a little bit. One last thing just before we get going. I also want to congratulate the New Life Academy Eagles from Minnesota. Won their section last night on their way to the Minnesota High School State Tournament. That's my son's team. So on their way to the state tournament next week. So I'll be checking them out during the week. So go Eagles. All right.
Goose, your vibes are high. How you doing today?
I'm feeling great. It's been a great first round tournament. Wish there's been some great upsets like St. Peter's. Just wish there was a couple more like Chattanooga last night. That one really crushed me. But it's been a great tournament so far, and I'm ready to keep rolling.
Chuck, coming at Sam already. How you doing today, Sam?
I'm doing all right. We're coming off a good day. Saw the board well yesterday. Chuck's going to be mad. He can be mad all offseason until next year. AFC comes through Cincinnati. So fuck off, Chuck.
Oh. Goose is wearing the positive vibes only, and Sam follows it up by telling Chuck to get off. But not a football show. You already know our man, C Penn for the win. Make sure to be giving him a follow on Twitter and be supporting Kingdom Cast. If you're a Chiefs fan, the AFC West is going to be wild. But the show is powered and sponsored by Daily Bread Media. So make sure to be giving them a follow on Twitter with a like and a retweet. We got 500 plus people in our bracket group. We got one person solely there. Please make your Twitter name the bracket name, and I can tag you. I don't have to tag the people who are second and fifth. So it's going to be difficult for you to collect that $500 as well. But that's what we're giving away to our free tourney. If you missed out, it's a little too late. But we're live on YouTube. That is the spot to be. You can be dropping your best plays, anything you want in there. We got the best chat on the airwaves out there. Yeah, that Chattanooga game was rough last night. I think the committee and everybody wanted Illinois to advance, and they couldn't take another Big Ten team dropping out. And Izzo got it done.
Yeah.
That's really what we got to say, but let's get into today's plays because we got over 50 people tapped in with us through all our outlets. Like, retweet, follow. We appreciate it. We'll start it off. We're going to go in the order of all the games for today. Baylor going to UNC. I have a light blue shirt on, and I'm pretty sure I'm fading UNC today. Does anyone want to start off with this game, or should I hit it from the bat?
You got it.
All right. A lot of people are still talking about LJ missing today's game. I mean, how many has he missed now at this point? 10 plus in this season, and they've been functioning and playing decently well without him. Sure, they went out early in the tournament, but UNC, they were able to dictate their style. They got every second chance opportunity against Marquette and looked clean, and then Baylor just ran Norfolk State out. Business as usual. Akinjo and Flagger didn't have to run that many minutes, so they'll be pretty fresh in this one. Same with UNC. Both benches got in here. In this matchup here, Baylor holds the advantages if you're looking at the metrics on the offensive and defensive side here. It's going to be can UNC get Baylor to play in the transition? And when they get into the transition, they're going to have to close out on Baylor threes because Marquette couldn't hit a shot to save their light, and UNC, especially Caleb Love, couldn't miss. RJ Davis was the main facilitator last game. I believe he ended up with 9 assists in the last game against Marquette. So that's just where when RJ Davis or Caleb Love is running the point in that transition offense well, and especially with how many missed shots, that's what UNC needs to get their offense rolling. They can't rely on you taking the ball out of the hoop. They'll still try to push you, but they don't get that same pace and transition that they do. I like backing the better three-point defense here in this matchup because that's what UNC is going to rely on. Baylor could lock up. Does anyone like UNC today or think Baylor are frauds? He had 12. Sorry. I was shorting him by 3. He had 12 assists against Marquette.
I'm rocking with Baylor as well. I almost feel like they're under the radar at this point. Look, they're a 1 seed. They have they're a great athletic team, strong defense. UNC's not going to have their way just shooting the lights out. And that's what they're going to need to do to keep it close. And I don't think they'll be able to hit at like a 40% clip from 3 against this Baylor defense. Baylor gets easy buckets. UNC's defense has been pretty paper at times throughout the year. Just give me the 1 seed. I think they advance pretty easily. I feel like UNC is almost a little too trendy at this point. And it's more of a classic, not a classic. It's more of a fade the ACC to me. I think the Big 12 keeps rolling. So I think Baylor gets a nice like 8 to 10 point win to start off our Saturday.
Yep, I'll let one of you guys go below in a second, but my biggest thing of why I went against UNC in the first round was Hubie's first game in the conference tournament. Sure, he's been on the bench, but we saw what Drew Valentine did yesterday. He struggled in his first appearance, but you can't really compare the two when there's 30-year age difference. This is where Scott Drew should be able to outclass Hubie here. Hubie's going to get it soon, and he'll be up at the pedigree. But I think in a competitive game and not when they're running with a 20-point lead throughout, we're going to see a different type of UNC here. I think that's probably why Sosa skipped this section because he's probably playing Baylor as well. Sam or Spin, do any of you have anything on this game?
Sam, go ahead.
I've got Baylor -5. I kind of like what you said, Rex. I think Baylor's just a better team. They're coming off. I don't think we haven't seen a hangover from them yet this year from the championship last year. I'm also on the over 148.5. I got it last night. I haven't really checked the lines this morning, see if they've moved at all, but I was on the over as well. I think Baylor will be able to score pretty easily against UNC's defense and late threes going in for UNC to kind of push us over.
Spin?
Yeah, over for me as well here. For all the reasons that Sam said, North Carolina, for all of their faults and some of the ones that you guys have talked about, they just have the ability to put up points. They play that style of ball really regardless of opponent, regardless of situation. So I am a fan of the over here, and I think that you can I think you can pretty comfortably take both first half and full game.
All right, that'll wrap up the first one that we have for the day. We like the over and we like Baylor here. I like what Chuck kind of said is you're getting a lot of this is the upset to be watching for, and I think it's a little bit of frauds. I got the -5, -110 with Baylor. Next 1, 8 or 9 matchup really doesn't matter. Kansas Creighton. We got Kansas laying 11.5, a total of over 139.5 here. Is this technically a rivalry game? I know they're not in the same division, but they're pretty close proximity-wise, so I could see Creighton wanting to come out here and make a noise. I mean, they always seem like they always play little brother to any team in the Big 12, being the sole team out west in the Big East. And then, do we like Baylor first half? I'm just rocking full game. You guys can answer that when you get to your sections, but I don't want to lay 11.5, especially with Bill Self. We saw McDermott switch up the defense and give San Diego State enough issues, but that's kind of more of the Mountain West year after year shooting themselves in the foot because Creighton really had no business winning that game here. So from a side perspective, I don't have any feel, is anyone laying the points or taking the points here?
Yeah. Yeah. This is a Kansas. To me, this is, and I feel dirty saying this because it's Bill Self, but this is a Kansas absolute bitch smack spot for me. For Creighton to be able to compete in this game, I think that they would need to be able to hit. Well, first of all, they don't hit jump shots from the outside to begin with. They're 318th. Kansas 22nd ranked 3-point defense. So Kansas has the size advantage. Kansas just has them everywhere in this game. And so there really wasn't anything that I saw in the San Diego State game, aside from the fact that, it was an overtime game and they gutted out a win. So good for them. But there really wasn't anything that would make me think like, wow, like this team could really make some noise. The other thing that really worries me with Creighton is while Kansas's defense doesn't force as many turnovers, Creighton has had a problem with turnovers at many points in the year. Then they're still 312th in turnovers per possession. They average a turnover on almost 21% of their possessions, and you just can't do that against a Kansas team. So, just looking back historically, after whipping a 16 seed, these are the kinds of games that Bill Self, for as much as I give him shit, he does have a decent follow-up percent, a decent follow-up performance. So there's just way too many metrics here against Creighton. I would not be surprised if this one turns into 20. I really wouldn't.
Sam?
And you got to remember, I'm sorry, and you got to remember this is the biggest Bill Self hater in the world saying that. So for me to say that means I really believe in it. Sorry, Sam, go ahead.
Oh, no, it's fine. I can't really add too much more onto it. I've watched Creighton play, I think, twice all year, if we're being honest. It was last game where they didn't have the lead until probably 30 seconds left in overtime, and then them getting blown out in the Big East Championship. So I think Kansas has been playing really well lately. They're probably due for a stinker here soon, but the way they've been playing, it's hard to go against it whenever you're getting whenever I think they could win by 15 or more easily.
Goose, are you on Goose Island here in Rockin' Creighton or have anything on the total?
Yeah, so with Creighton's big Kalkbrenner is out for this game, I believe. He unfortunately had a bad knee injury.
Paul.
And that's the big part for me. I think if he plays, if he was healthy, I could talk myself into the plus 11.5 for Creighton. But I mean, with him out, Creighton has no size. They're not going to hit a lot of threes. And as Cole just commented, Remy Martin's coming along for Kansas. I like that. I like how Kansas is starting to form right now. I'm honestly starting to believe in them to make a run. They have the senior point guard. They have their scoring guards. They have the name is escaping me, but they're just a complete team. I think with Creighton's lack of depth now with their injuries, I think they're more of like a 13-ish seed. So I think Kansas rolls right now. And on to the Sweet 16 for them, for Bill Self.
And on to this. Wow. Yeah, Kansas going there. I can see it. The Kalkbrenner is definitely one of the biggest pieces in this matchup, which is definitely going to change it on its head. When you lose that 7'1" size, that's really where you're going to be playing at a disadvantage a little bit more when Creighton already runs that short lineup. What they could try to do is they might try to go 5 out and neutralize McCormick completely, like we saw what Miami did yesterday to USC. Or we could maybe see them. I mean, I guess Hawkins, if they do put him at the 5, he's a stretch 4 as it is already and is a threat from 3. So that's where I think that would most likely be their lineup, because I don't see we see Fizel is his name. He's played like 20% of the minutes so far this season. I doubt we really see him get much run. So with the undermanned team, I think Kansas is going to be looking to get to the paint early and often, get Creighton into foul trouble, and end this one easy. The way I would kind of look at it would be I was maybe going to target a McCormick rebound or points prop, just because I think he could be the one that eats the most. But really with Kansas, they've been sharing the ball well. Other than Abaji, no one really has been that dominant scorer game in, game out. Braun probably gets the second most attempts. But McCormick, he just has games where he just doesn't – I don't want to say try, but he'll put up 10 and 8 and just you don't even see him out on the court. So I think it's tough to go against Creighton, or it's tough to be going against Kansas here, but I think Creighton does keep it a little bit closer than we expect, but I like the angles you guys gave out.
Rex Island.
No, I'm not playing Creighton. Don't give me
Oh,
on there.
okay.
No. I might give out something on McCormick if I dig more into it later, but nothing right now. Michigan, Tennessee. Goose, you got to start this one off for us.
Yeah, so first off, Tennessee rolled last game, but that was against a Longwood team that I wasn't impressed with the Big South all year. I felt like they were a down conference. They completely destroyed them, but that doesn't say much to me. I like Michigan to cover this game. I like their size. I know Tennessee is a great athletic team. They're just a little small. And when you have Hunter Dickinson and Diabate on Michigan, I just think they have the pieces that they'll be able to slow down Tennessee. I think Michigan also has the veteran guards like Eli Brooks. So yeah, I think Tennessee is getting a lot of love for completely destroying Longwood the other day, but I just think Longwood was a very bad team. So I'm not looking at that last game. I'm not overreacting. I think Michigan has the size and they'll compete. I don't know if they'll be able to win because Tennessee is ultimately a great team. The SEC is a great conference. But yeah, I would take the +6.5 today.
Spin, are you taking the points as well with Michigan and fading Rick Barnes, or is it not time yet?
I'm gonna go with Rick Barnes and Bill Self today. I feel I need to take 3 showers after this segment is over.
Blink twice if you're being held captive.
Good
Spin.
Lord, I know. Okay, so I tried to look for an angle here to take Michigan in this one, and Tennessee is just playing way too well right now. So you have a Michigan team where, yes, good for them. They made a comeback against Colorado State, but it's because they use their massive size advantage inside. I think they have some size advantage with Dickinson, but Tennessee's a lot bigger and Tennessee's a lot longer, so you can neutralize a little bit of that. The other thing here, too, that I looked at was when you look at Michigan on offense, everything that Michigan does well, Tennessee defends well. So Michigan, 2-point offense, 53rd. Tennessee, 2-point defense, 31st. Near the basket defense, Michigan's top 50, Tennessee's top 25, and on and on and on and on, even up to forcing turnover. So Michigan doesn't turn the ball over there much. They're 101st, but Tennessee is 15th in forcing turnovers. So for me,
is Devontae Jones playing? Because that could really, if Michigan doesn't have their point guard, like those turnover numbers are going to go up for Michigan.
I don't think so. I hadn't seen for sure though. Does anybody know?
I'll get confirmation. Keep going.
They said he's game time decision.
Okay. So we'll find out like as he's walking onto the floor before tip. Yeah. Yeah. So for me, what I actually like in this one a little more than the full game is I do like Tennessee in the first half because I can see a backdoor cover coming here. But as far as Michigan actually pulling this one out to go to the Sweet 16, I really hate to say it, but this Tennessee team is just on a roll right now. So I would rather the inevitable point where I'll bet against Rick Barnes will come, but it's probably going to be after they pack it in for this weekend, go back to Tennessee and get prepared to play in the Sweet 16.
Sam, what do you like in here?
I'm riding with Rick Barnes as well. I think they're playing way too well right now. They've been on fire leading into the SEC tournament, just ran through the entire SEC tournament. Granted, they didn't have the toughest path, but they still came out with the win there. And they haven't given me any reason to really doubt they can stay this hot. I mean, maybe like Spence said, if they go back, get some big heads after a dominant opening weekend, they start to fade a little bit next weekend. But yeah, Michigan with point guard possibly being out, Devontae Jones, I just can't see them going up and taking on, like, Tennessee's guards are playing really well right now. They have the depth at the bigs where, I mean, Hunter Dickinson's better than any big that Tennessee has, but if you have just bodies that you can throw at them, wear them down maybe a little bit and negate that size advantage that they have. So I don't know. I like Tennessee -6, and then I'll take the over 136 as well.
Goose, I think you hit it on the head here with this one. Don't take anything from the last game from Tennessee. They played the Longwood size. Sam, you mentioned the SEC path that they had in the conference tournament. I mean, they played Miss State, can't play shit on the road. They played Kentucky, shit, they lost to St. Pete, and they beat Texas A&M in the finals. Hungry dogs run faster. Michigan money line plus 230. If there's an underdog I like on the board today, I think it's here. It makes no sense. It's more of that Tennessee on the neutral court against I don't even want to say size. It's just the competitiveness. I think it's what gets them. The 6.5 -110 is a much safer and easier play. But you always know I have to have a hungry dog, and I think Michigan will hang. If I have to watch them pass it around the 3-point arc for 20 seconds and not get any lane penetration, I might pull my hair out, even though I got it cut. Devontae Jones could be there. Eli Brooks just has to learn how to pass the ball into the post here. All their offense is relying on Dickinson going, and I think he can get Fulke going. And then that other big ogre-looking big that they bring in, I think Dickinson can cook. That's the biggest part. But in the last game, I said in the last one, it's Diabate. He's a freshman, but he's the difference maker in the game. You saw in the first half when he was cold, that's when they were down. When he started to click a little bit more, sure, he only ended up with 7 points, but he started being more of a threat in there. He can't get into foul trouble. That's been Diabate's biggest issue. Sure, he's a freshman here. And then if there's a player prop I would target here, I would look at Vescovi for Tennessee. Vescovi's kind of their do-it-all guy. If your book gives a PRA, I would like it here. I think he's going to be the difference maker. I see him getting probably 5 boards, 5 assists, and probably 15 points in today's game. I think that's the biggest part that Michigan needs to shut him down. I like the rest of their pieces like Josiah Jordan-James and Chandler, but I think stopping Vescovi is your biggest piece.
Yeah, I hear it. But my biggest thing here was, so Michigan on the season, they are, well, first of all, they're 9th in total shots around or at the rim, which makes sense when you have Diabate and when you have Dickinson. But Tennessee, top 50 in defending shots at the rim, and actually they've been top 25 ever since the SEC tournament. So for me, that's why I can't take Michigan pregame. If Michigan's finding ways to rotate the ball around and to get Dickinson some ISOs or to get Diabate on some cuts where he can use his athleticism to get to the basket, I might change my mind and actually hedge it and bet in game. But when I see Michigan go through, because I saw it against Colorado State, I saw it in the Big Ten tournament, when I see Michigan go through just 5 out of 6 possessions where it's either one guard dribbles in place for 20 seconds and then it's a cast, or they pass the ball around the perimeter 5 times and then somebody casts, like Dickinson doesn't exist.
They don't initiate offense outside the paint for 15 to 20 seconds. They run the weave offense. It's what they ran at St. Joe's for 15 years. I don't know how fucking Phil Martelli told Juwan Howard to run this offense, but I've watched this my entire life.
That's what makes it so hard for me to trust them, because the defense that they're playing today is just at least 3 levels up from the one that they played in the first round with Colorado State. So
last thing on this game, and then we'll move on to the next one. I know we went a little long here, but this is probably one of the best games of the day. If Dickinson was in the SEC, you have Sheboy, you have Castleton, you have Walker Kessler. Those are really your 3 only good bigs in the SEC. So that's what I'm saying. Dickinson's easily maybe second in there. Sheboy's clearly above him. I'd put him easily on the same level as Castleton and Kessler. So that's where we saw those teams give Tennessee issues with the height when Tennessee was on the road. Sure, it's neutral, but Michigan's fans travel. I think we see a good close game here. Let's get into the next one. Spiders versus the Friars. Iowa goes down. Providence. Iowa goes down because Richmond just bullied the shit out of them the entire game. It was as simple as that. Providence made it sweatier than it needed to be. The Jackrabbits kept it close, just couldn't put them away here. And that's where Richmond, with the seniority, I think they have that same level type of fight where the -3 here actually seems appropriate for Providence in this matchup. In the last one, I thought Providence had a significant edge. Here, I believe it's straight on, but I think this Richmond squad is due for an egg here today. Does anyone have an official play on the spread? Because I do not.
I like Providence today. I hear so much how like they're the number one luck team in KenPom, and I just think like they're full of seniors. They're one of the oldest teams in college basketball, and they just find ways to win. I don't call it lucky. I call it knowing how to win. I call it seniors doing their job, not overwhelming teams, not blowing them out, but constantly winning those close games. They have the stones for March Madness. I don't think Richmond bullies this Providence team because I think this Providence team, their guards are physical. Al Durham is physical. Jacob Gilliard's a little too small for him, so he'll be more on Will Bynum, and so I think Al Durham has one of his highlight games. Nate Watson, they're big. I think he'll be just a little too athletic for someone like Grant Golden, who's a good offensive big. I like him a lot. I just think this Providence team matches up well against Richmond. And it's not like a metric stat, but they won the Big East regular season title, and now they're going against a team who finished sixth while being hot. They finished sixth in the A10. In the regular season. Like, I get it, they're hot. It's not just where they place in conference, but this Providence team, I respect them a lot. I think kind of like the last game. I mean, I know it's a better opponent. Richmond's a better opponent than South Dakota State. I think it's a similar result, like an 8-point win.
Richmond was the favorites to win the A10 preseason. But Sam, what do you like?
I'm going to stick with the hot team in March. I mean, I don't know how you see a team on a run like this and fade them. I mean, this is kind of more my brand than everyone else's. I go with the gut. Trying to have one play on every game today, so I'll ride with the hot team and spread.
Yeah, I actually was hoping, because I have Providence in the Final Four in a bracket, I was actually hoping they would get Iowa. I was hoping they wouldn't get Richmond. I think that Providence with their 3-point defense could match up a lot better against Iowa here. But Richmond, so every year there's just this team from maybe it's the lower level team from a power conference, or maybe it's a mid-tier team from like that second tier conferences like the A10 that just goes on a run and storms into the Sweet 16. And that team this year just like it just seems like it's Richmond. They have the three things that I looked at here are when you look at away from home. So Richmond 59th overall away from home, and they're 48th in consistency away from home. Providence 265 and 236 in both of those numbers. So Richmond doesn't rely on the three as much to score as South Dakota State did. So for me, this is another case where Richmond is just playing so well right now. I mean, they've been in a do or die situation pretty much since the A10 tournament started, and they're to me that one double-digit seed in March that just finds ways to win games. So it would kill a bracket that I'm in, a large bracket that I'm in, but I will go Richmond money line here. Win the game straight up.
All right. Yeah, I got nothing for this one here. I think this, of all the games, probably has your sharpest line, in my opinion. All right, make sure to give us a like, subscribe, retweet. We're halfway through. We got 4 games left. We might try to pick up the pace a little bit here, be done by 11:30 so you guys can all get out to the bars, do whatever you need to do. St. Mary's, UCLA. Who's got a play in here that wants to start it off?
UCLA -2.5.
Ooh, why?
I have to have a pick for every game, so that's my play.
Go ahead, Spin.
Oh, I don't have much on this game. This line seems pretty correct all around. I have a slight lean on the under 126, slight lean on the first half under as well, but it's probably not something I'm actively looking to bet my own money on.
Goose, you gonna play that song again?
Yeah, so I think from the stream, I think you guys know I really like this UCLA team. I just love the vibes, but I'm pretty worried on this game for them. UCLA has, in my opinion, they have top 5 talent. They don't share the ball well, though. Too much ISO ball won't do well for them against this St. Mary's team. This St. Mary's defense is going to frustrate UCLA, and the pace. Like, UCLA already plays slow, but St. Mary's plays at a crawl pace. They're going to walk the ball up. They're going to get the smart shot. And I feel like the UCLA is full of athletes, even though they play slow. They're going to then try to run it up, try to get a quick bucket. If they miss, then, St. Mary's going to walk it up, get a smart shot. And I just see UCLA being very frustrated in this game. So I'm pulling for the Bruins, but I think St. Mary's comes away with this one, unfortunately.
Ooh, you think St. Mary's wins out right here?
Yeah.
So it's going to be this. It's got to be Toss, I guess. It's going to be the difference maker in this game if you really have to pick someone, because I think Tiger Campbell is going to be able to control Kusi. Kusi's smart enough, and they'll still get looks for his teammates, but I don't expect him to be a scoring threat. I feel like they're going to give him that please shoot the three, because you saw him and a few of the game against Indiana brick. I think he bricked 2 threes where they even hit the rim. So sure, he's the playmaker, but when UCLA can have that little bit of gap defense off of him, it just makes that help that much more. Goose, if they get St. Mary's into transition, we might try to see UCLA just run them out of the gym just with pace here. Sure, it might not be the best and smartest shot each time, but when St. Mary's can set up their system, that's when they thrive the best. This is a low-key great coaching matchup as well, because I think this is going to be, sure, it's a close game, but I think we're going to see at least 8 lead changes here, because both of these coaches know how to use the timeout, know how to use the media timeout to put that new wrinkle in, and both of these coaches can adjust in game. I just don't know if St. Mary's has the goods at the end of it, just because I still just find their offensive metrics flawed. They get a good shot each time, but I just can't buy weight into them being a top 75 2-point and 3-point offense. They're real at the end of it. I mean, sure, they're top 100 in each of those metrics, but I believe UCLA has a defense to control St. Mary's, and I don't know if St. Mary's breaks 55 today. That's my biggest thing. I would target a St. Mary's team total if I had to, but with fouling time and what we see in the second half, I don't want to be sweating that, because what was it? The 3 with under 10 seconds left, down by 2 possessions, always goes in. It always goes in.
Always.
Shout out to Nelly Campbell if you had Nelly Cummings on Colgate last night. He ran the cover play to perfection at the end. Sam doesn't seem like Sam liked that one.
I was so fucking mad. I had Wisconsin minus 7.5. Oh my god! Whenever they called that timeout, I thought they were for sure fouling. Like it was a lock. They were gonna hit the free throws, and then they just didn't fucking foul. What the hell are they doing?
Actually, you know what, Sam? I've seen that a few times in this tournament where a team is down by it's probably hard to come back from, but it's not impossible. And they call timeout with like 15 seconds left or less. The other team inbounds the ball, and then they just stand there. Like
he called a timeout with 4 seconds left. What was he doing? Yeah, I mean, and then if we're just getting bad beats off the chest real quick, the UConn under 131.5 the other night. That was fucking sickening.
It really was.
St. Pete, Murray State, Spin. You gotta go first here, obviously.
Don't sleep on the Peacocks, man. Their defense is playing so phenomenal right now. And the big thing with St. Peter's that I was concerned about coming into this tournament is their offense. Their offense has just been absolutely electric over the last several games. So much so that so for the season, they were only on the road. They were less than 50% EFG, And actually at home, they were even worse. So it was one of the bottom 250 teams. Last game, they shot 60% EFG from the floor. Last 3 games, they're 52. They're over 55 in their last couple weeks. That's always been the key for this St. Peter's team. So you have a guy like Casey Nadefo, who is 6'7", has wingspan up to 7 feet, can guard guys in the post, can guard guys on the perimeter, MAC Defensive Player of the Year. So I think that anything coming into the paint that he can really, really help control. And this St. Peter's team is just the thing that they are best at is when they switch and recover on high ball screens. We know that most every college team these days uses the high ball screen, uses high screen and roll. And that's what Shaheen Holloway has this team just defending at such an elite level. They are forcing teams to take off balance, bad shots here. Now, that said, will their offense be able to show up for a second game in a row? I don't know. I've watched this team enough where they're hot. And so if we're following the bet on a team that's hot right now, it's hard to say no. But, I mean, this is a team where their 2-point offense is 314th in the country and was nearly last in the MAC conference. So Murray State, obviously with their offense and their ability to run, to get out, to hit shots, I want to pick St. Peter's on the money line so badly today. I will just stick with the spread here for St. Peter's. So I'll take St. Peter's to cover for sure. And this might be where if I see them coming out and I see them running as efficient of offense as they did against Kentucky, then might throw a live shot at them to win the game outright.
Sam, what do you got?
Win the game outright.
Sam, what do you got for this one? Quick hit, then we'll let Goose break it down. You're on mute. Oh, you did it.
St. Peter's plus 8.5 and over 129.5.
Goose. So I live 30 minutes from St. Peter's. And I just want to say one thing. That was amazing. So I looked it up. There's 2,500 people who go there to that school, and I'm just gonna guess 500 live on campus. It's a huge commuter school. Nothing wrong with that. It's a good school. But it's a huge commuter school. No one really lives on campus. And they just took down Kentucky. That's awesome. And I'm worried that the players are feeling themselves right now. I'm just so happy for the area. That was great vibes. One thing I'm also worried about is some outside noise, like how I just alluded to. Maybe the players are feeling themselves. And also, the coach is obviously so focused on this game. But in a month, he's going to be the head coach of Seton Hall because, Seton Hall's losing Willard to Maryland. He played at Seton Hall. And, he's now just feeling themselves too much. I'm just a little worried about this game from the vibes perspective. Shaheen Holloway.
Breaking news on the show? I didn't hear anything about. I saw Willard wants to go to Maryland. I didn't see it was official, but I love it.
It's not official.
Train of thought.
It's not official, but he's gonna go. He doesn't win tournament games at Seton Hall. He's gonna get a new start at Maryland, and a perfect person to replace him is gonna be Shaheen Holloway. That's just all an educated guess. And as a Rutgers fan, I don't want to get on tangent. As a Rutgers fan, I'm scared of Shaheen Holloway going to Seton Hall because he's a great coach. Seton Hall is gonna be great with him. But sticking to this game, I compare St. Peter's almost to a Morehead State. I feel like they're scrappy, they're physical and stuff. And Murray State hasn't been able to blow out Morehead State in conference. So I like St. Peter's to cover because I feel like this style of play will give Murray State some fits.
Spin, is St. Pete going to go man or zone here?
It's man, but it's with a lot of zone rotation and recovery principles. So they play such good help side defense that it kind of looks like a zone, but it is man-to-man.
Yeah, because that's where I was trying to do my matchups because I was trying to see who's going to cover KJ Williams. Nadefo?
Yeah, probably Nadefo.
Who's going to cover Tevin Brown? Drame, maybe?
Probably.
And then who's going to cover Justice Hill? That's where when I was looking at the three, I was trying to target potentially a player prop from one of those three on Murray State. But with this looking like it probably is going to soar under here, I was hesitant with it because KJ and Tevin can both drop you 15 plus on any given moment, and both of them their lines are right around that 16 number. Then Justice Hill, his number's at 11.5, and if you go back and look, I legitimately think half of the games this season, he ended with exactly 10 or 11 points with Justice Hill. So that's where I think he could be the X factor here. KJ always has the biggest ceiling to pop. And then Tevin's your most consistent guy, where I'd be surprised if Tevin doesn't break 14 points today.
Yeah. So my thought for him would be that I guess I'd probably have to say Banks would take him.
Yeah, that's kind of just where none of it is great matchup, St. Pete head-to-head, but to your point, this defense is no slouch. It's ranked top 50 for a reason, and we saw what it did against Kentucky. It's not the most efficient, but it just frustrates the hell out of you, and that's one thing you need to be able to do.
Yep. Forces you to make mistakes.
Yep. 2 games left on the board, and then we'll be wrapping it up here. I got to play in each of the final games. I'm rocking with the over 138 minus 110 here in New Mexico State, Arkansas. I think Arkansas is going to just basically try to turn up New Mexico State completely and not play. They just watched that entire UConn game and were just like, why did UConn play into the way they wanted to? Why did they let Teddy Allen just be a bully and just get to the rim at any point that they want? They couldn't clean the glass, which I thought UConn would be able to have that size advantage in order to clean the glass. And I just think here you're going to have a great match because both of these teams are huge, and I think JD Note is going to be the difference maker here in this one here. I think that's where it's going to go over. Arkansas is not going to try to rely on their threes because that's where New Mexico State's going to lock down. They're going to look for transition left and right, speed and turnover New Mexico State because that's where you're able to frustrate them the most. When UConn applied the high ball pressure, that's when you saw their guards start struggling, and that's when they basically said, all right, Teddy Allen, you just control the ball the entire time because our guards are getting their pockets picked. I think it's going to look like the same way. I like the size and the better defenders that Arkansas can throw at New Mexico State. I think Arkansas does get through here. I do think New Mexico State's coach finally gets his upgrade, Chris Jans, that he's been wanting for and for some seasons, but I'm rocking with the over 138 minus 110.
Yeah, I'm totally with the over. I actually like the first half over as well. I think that in types of games like this, Teddy Allen just comes out firing, and he's been Teddy Buckets for like the last almost month. So I'm not really sure why that would cease now. The kid is just locked in the zone, and for me, I think that Arkansas definitely plays fast enough, definitely has enough weapons. So yeah, totally support the full game over. I 100% support the first half over. I think this might be one of the higher scoring games of the day.
Sam or Goose, you guys got any quick hits before we get to the last one here?
I do here. Watching that UConn New Mexico State game, Teddy Allen will hit a great shot, and he's a great offensive player, but then he'll go hero ball the next 2 or 3 possessions, and everything went perfect for them to beat UConn. They are a good team, New Mexico State, but I think the hero ball factor is going to hurt New Mexico State at the end. I think once the game gets late in the game, Allen's going to almost lose trust in his teammates, and I think Arkansas pulls away with it. I think they're just too complete of a team, too athletic, and they will frustrate New Mexico State into some bad shots, and I don't think they can make bad shots back-to-back games. So I'm going to take Arkansas minus the 6.5.
I'm on that as well. Didn't learn my lesson like Jamrock's mentioned in the comments, the bad beat from Thursday. Just going to ride with Arkansas here, and I'll add the over to the card as well since you all talked me into it. So doesn't take much to talk me into an over pick.
All right. Final game of the day. Sam, we got our favorite spot of all time. And you know what's even better? The Mush Network loves Memphis first half. Gonzaga first half, minus 5.5, minus 110. Memphis is cooking. They're rolling right now. We saw Amani Bates play some minutes the last game. I mean, sure, Memphis is clicking at all right cylinders. They're just going to get smacked. They let Boise State get back into that game for no reason whatsoever in that last game. Memphis can change from half to half. They can change from timeout to timeout here. When I can get Gonzaga first half under 6 points, we got to rock with it. You could take the team total as well if you don't want to lay the 5.5. Both of those plays I like. I don't want to get involved full game here. I do think it might be a little tough, but 75% of me says Gonzaga wins this game by 15 plus without a sweat.
I'm so fucking
Anyone on the
sick of
Memphis
these
train?
frauds. Me. I'm so sick of them. I can't stand these frauds year in and year out. Everyone says it's the same thing. Oh, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. No, I mean, they let 16 seed hang around for way too long last game. And I'm so sick of Drew Timme. Like, I can't stand the guy. And so I think they play some real athletes. And I think they're going to – I think Michigan or Memphis is going to hang around for a little bit longer than the first round. I can't even remember who they played. That's how –
Boise.
Georgia.
No. I'm talking about Gonzaga.
Georgia State.
Georgia State, yeah. I think they'll hang around a little longer than Georgia State did, and I like Memphis plus 10.
Spinner Goose.
I'm with Rex. I think the size of the two bigs of Timmy and Chet versus the one big of Duran. I'll take Gonzaga. I feel there's too much love for Memphis, sort of like how I talked about with the UNC Baylor game. I think the 1 seeds roll today.
Yeah. So with Memphis, playing the AAU style ball that they do, that works when you can out athletic your opponent. They ain't gonna out athletic Gonzaga. This is one of the most athletic teams in the country. So I could possibly see Memphis keeping this close early. So I don't really want to touch the first. I don't know if I want to touch the first half, but full game, this just has to be a Zags or nothing for me. So I'm probably just going to stay off it completely, to be honest.
Yeah, and the reason – go ahead, Tim.
I said I'm hate betting. I'm just so fucking sick of Gonzaga. I can't stand them.
Well, it's where in the first half of the last game, did we really think Gonzaga was going to miss 12 straight shots against Georgia State? Did we really think they were going to go 7 for 17 from the free throw line? That's why Georgia State hung around, because Gonzaga seemed like they were locked in. Georgia State threw the wrinkle at that 12 to 10 minute media timeout. And then from then they just had a rough 5 minutes, and then Gonzaga flipped the switch again at the end. I think Memphis can do it, but I just think Memphis is too volatile for me to back them. They just been one of the more inconsistent teams. They're hot at the right time right now. And what was his name? Is Lomax. Didn't he get hurt the last game?
Yeah, he did.
I don't know if he's going to be out, but I think he's one of their better pieces here. That could have been a difference maker here. If he ends up being out, that is going to be a tough piece. I haven't seen anything official on him, but he came down hard the last game.
When are we going to start regulating like injury reports for college basketball?
Never going to happen.
Never.
It's the beauty of the game.
Oh god, it's so fucking annoying.
It sucks.
Let's rattle through our full cards. So Sam, I know you got to play on every game. I'll give you a second to get your full list up. Goose, you got your list ready? Oh, Sam, you're ready? Let's hear it.
Yeah. Baylor, -5. Baylor UNC, over 148. Kansas, -11.5. Tennessee, -6. Tennessee, Michigan, over 136. Richmond, +2.5. UCLA, -2.5. St. Peter's, +8.5. And the over 129.5. Arkansas, -6.5. And Memphis, +10.
You got the CVS receipt today, Goose. What do you got for us?
So I have 4 plays for today and a bonus play for tomorrow. I like Kansas -11.5. Michigan +6.5. Providence, I think they're going to go on a little roll, -3. Arkansas -6.5. And look, this team shouldn't be here, but I think they win tomorrow. Illinois +4.5. I think Big bounce back for Kofi Coburn. Look, they survived against Chattanooga. The line opened at 2.5. It's already at 4.5. I think Illinois rolls tomorrow.
Ooh, I like the nice little early spot. Never going to disagree against giving out early plays in tomorrow's action. Spin, what do you got for us?
Yep. So I'm going to go UNC Baylor over 149. Kansas minus 11.5. Kansas first half, I think it's minus 5.5 or 5. Either way, take that. Take that too. I also have Tennessee at minus 6.5. I have nothing really to do with St. Mary's and UCLA. Richmond money line at plus 155. And then Zags full game minus 9.5.
Nice. I like it. And then I got 4 plays as well. I think today might go a little bit chalkier. And then tomorrow's where the madness happens. I do have the one hungry dog today. I got Baylor minus 5, minus 110. Michigan money line plus 230. The over 138 in New Mexico State, Arkansas. And then Gonzaga first half minus 5.5. That's today's episode for Paid for Play. Sosa and I, and probably Spin, will be live tomorrow. I'll probably make Spin show up since we have a good slate of games tomorrow for the round of 32. There's going to be chaos tomorrow. Duke's going to lose tomorrow. Villanova's going to lose tomorrow. Who else is losing tomorrow? Auburn's going to lose tomorrow, and Texas Tech is going to lose tomorrow. I see a lot of hungry dogs.
Love
Give us
it.
a like, give us a subscribe, and we're out.